So as many of you guys do know, Travis Scott has been teasing the sequel of JACKBOYS, being JACKBOYS 2, for quite some time now. And as of yesterday, it seemed like we got some indicators as to when JACKBOYS 2 could release. So let's get into it. So to start off, I wanted to go into this post from Travis Scott right here. He posted about 15 hours ago about like his mom's birthday, something like that, right? He said, P.S. I played her JACKBOYS 2. She said, drop on your B-Day, baby Jack, right? So everybody's seen that and everyone's like, yo, Travis Scott just teased JACKBOYS 2. So a lot of the Travis Scott community was like, yo, he played JACKBOYS 2, teasing JACKBOYS 2 once again. I feel like Travis Scott has been teasing JACKBOYS 2 maybe since like January, right? It's been a relevant topic within Travis Scott's career as of right now. And he said, she said, drop on your birthday, baby Jack, right? So people are like, okay, let's just connect the dots, right? She said, drop on your birthday, talking about JACKBOYS 2. Well, when is Travis Scott's birthday? Travis Scott's birthday is April 30th, being in 2 days from now, right? Today is the 28th, Monday I'm recording it. So Wednesday is Travis Scott's birthday. People are like, yo, could we see JACKBOYS 2 drop it on a Wednesday? Now, for me, I'm gonna say no, because we know how Travis Scott likes to move. Everything Travis puts out, he wants to make it huge, right? And we all know Travis Scott is an album sales merch bundle demon, right? So me personally, I don't think there's any way Travis puts out a project on Wednesday. But also, if there is a project from Travis Scott to put out on like an untraditional day, not being a Friday, it would be a JACKBOYS 2 release, right? So people are like, yo, 2 days from now is JACKBOYS 2 dropping. Me personally, I'm not really gonna believe it, but earliest maybe a Friday release from Travis, right? Because JACKBOYS 2, I feel like it doesn't really need a proper album rollout, doesn't really need a lot of promotion. All you really need to do is like 1-2 days in advance, yo, we're dropping JACKBOYS 2, Travis Scott posts on his feed. They have like a little trailer, XYZ, boom, boom, boom. Everybody in Cactus Jack posts about it. It's gonna go viral. Everyone's like, yo, JACKBOYS 2, the sequel of JACKBOYS is finally releasing, right? Obviously, I don't think anybody's looking for this album to like have a crazy first week sale or insane first day streaming, right? Because it's a collab album, y'all know how it gets, right? So I don't really think it needs like a traditional marketing huge push release. I just think they simply need to put it out there and it's gonna explode, right? So could we see JACKBOYS 2 drop on a Wednesday? Possibly. I'm not really gonna feed into it, but a lot of people are thinking it since Travis Scott said drop on your birthday, baby Jack, which is on Wednesday, right? And this has 1 million likes in 15 hours. This dude, Travis, is too lit, bro. He has the world in his hands. Travis Scott is he's so turned, bro. 1 million in 15 is insane, right? And obviously, because I was looking to see who liked it, right? Because I believe somebody pointed out SoFaygo liked this reel. Now, I don't know if it's gonna be on here. I don't know if we're gonna see it right here. Liked by SoFaygo and Don Toliver, right? And that obviously leads into the question, will SoFaygo be on JACKBOYS 2, right? Because every time Travis Scott has spoke about JACKBOYS 2, I believe he did a Billboard interview alongside a Complex magazine interview. They're talking about JACKBOYS, they're talking about Don Toliver, Sheck Wes. They even talked about Luxury Tax 50, but no mention of SoFaygo was near, right? So people, everyone in the Faygo community started blowing up. SoFaygo like Travis Scott post about JACKBOYS 2. Is it gonna be on it? And if y'all remember a while ago, what was it, 6 days ago, SoFaygo's manager, Barry Hefner, said that JACKBOYS 2 will have SoFaygo on it, right? Vault of Faygo said, all right, Barry, let's do business. Album before September, question mark. He said JACKBOYS first, then we go from there, right? So if SoFaygo liked the post about Travis Scott mentioning JACKBOYS, SoFaygo's manager said Faygo will be on JACKBOYS 2. I'm not gonna say confirmed, because this whole SoFaygo Cactus Jack relationship type thing seems to be like a huge mess from the outside perspective. Obviously it is from the outside perspective, so we don't really know the logistics and like the paperwork behind it, right? But there is a lot of clues pointing in the direction of Faygo being on JACKBOYS 2. And I know a lot of people are like, yo, why is May talking about Faygo in the Big 25? It's 2025. Faygo's career is completely dead. I feel y'all, but me personally, I am never giving up on SoFaygo. One, he's just too talented. I seen a dude, he put out a tweet talking about, yo, SoFaygo is the most talented artist from this like new underground, more so from like 2020 onwards, since like the Uzi and Cardi's. And I agree, right? Since Uzi, since Cardi, since that 2016 wave of like the most talented artists, the most talented of the new generation is SoFaygo, and it's not close. There is not one artist in this new gen, Yeet, Ken, Lone, nobody is competing with SoFaygo in terms of talent. And I feel like that's why SoFaygo's name always is gonna remain relevant and always is still gonna bubble, even though he hasn't dropped for like God knows how long, is because we all know the potential SoFaygo has, right? All of his projects are fire. I don't really think the music is the problem for SoFaygo, right? Because I've been tuning into the leaks. All the new leaks are fire. It's all good. The music SoFaygo makes is great. The problem is simply the consistency. If Faygo was consistent, he'd be up there with Yeet and Ken selling. Honestly, I think he'd sell the most over Yeet, right? From the new gen, I believe Yeet has the highest album sale with 89, if I'm correct. I think SoFaygo could have blown that out the water, right? Because you gotta think, there's two sides to SoFaygo, right? There's that singing, Usher type of swag from SoFaygo. Then he can hop on a song with like Osama Son and Ken, and it's like a rage lit rapping performance, and he could have rapped, right? He has the best of both worlds, and I still think he does have that. It's just like he simply just doesn't drop music. A lot of people are like, yo, SoFaygo quit. He wasn't at Coachella, Summer Smash, they booed him off stage. It hasn't really been looking good for Faygo, but I feel like nobody will ever throw in the white towel because of what I just said earlier to this, right? And I think if Faygo is on JACKBOYS 2, the Faygo comeback could happen. Y'all can call me delusional. I truly believe it, right? We were on stream the other day and A-God pretty much broke it down A to Z on the SoFaygo comeback explained, right? He basically said, yo, all SoFaygo needs to do is be on JACKBOYS, and if SoFaygo is on JACKBOYS, he needs to show up, right? Because I was thinking too, and I was like, what is the point of the JACKBOYS 2 sequel? Like, what is the point of JACKBOYS 2, right? Because it's really not needed, right? I'm obviously gonna take it, right? But I feel like the purpose of JACKBOYS 1 was to really like cement Cactus Jack as like a lit turnt label, and also really like grow Don Toliver, right? That was Don Toliver's like standout performance. That's what really got eyes on Don Toliver, right? Because we seen him on Can't See, we're like, okay, this dude's pretty fire. Then he's on JACKBOYS, we're like, okay, he had some of the best songs and the best performances on that project. And then I believe in like March, yeah, because I believe it's like March 20th or the day COVID happened, the 13th or the 20th, Heaven or Hell release. I remember that day so clearly. The EA Deluxe and then Don Toliver's project both dropped on the same day, right? Don Toliver, let me see. Don Toliver, we got albums. Heaven or Hell was in 2020. Yeah, that was March 13th, 2020. And then when the JACKBOYS released, I believe January, if I'm not mistaken. Because, yeah, when JACKBOYS released, or it was late 2019, yeah, December 2019, and then he did March 2020 debut project, right? And then after that, it's history, right? Don Toliver, I still don't think he has a bad album or a bad song. Don Toliver is like a consistent artist, right? So really, what's the point of this JACKBOYS 2? Is it to really move SoFaygo and start getting him in the right direction? Or is it simply too late? Now, I feel like for a lot of people, it's an obvious answer. It's pretty much done, cooked, D-O-N-E. It's over for Faygo, but maybe what? He signed like in 2020, maybe 4 years later, now is finally the master plan Travis Scott is gonna reveal in terms of blowing up SoFaygo, right? Because I feel like the music is still there. All he really needs is a spotlight, and all he really needs to do is just drop music. That's really it. Faygo got the talent. He's hard. That's simply all you need to do, right? So basically how A-God broke it down was like, yo, he needs to be on JACKBOYS 2. He needs to show up and do what Don did on JACKBOYS 1. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would agree Don Toliver had really the standout performance from that project. SoFaygo needs to show up and hit a home run, hit the nail on the head, which I do think he can. Maybe get him on a song with like a huge lit artist like Don with Amigos at the time. That was pretty big. Who really knows? And then he has to drop like an EP or a single and just really put his foot on the gas, right? Because I feel like the majority of Travis Scott fan base does know about SoFaygo, but I mean, there's really nothing to gravitate towards because there's simply no new music, right? So they're like, okay, this is Travis's new artist, SoFaygo, of 4 years, by the way, right? All right, let's see what he's hitting for. Okay, his performance was fire on this project. Then he starts being consistent. SoFaygo's back. The comeback of the century goes down. That's my SoFaygo delusional comeback theory. I really hope it does happen because we all know SoFaygo is a GOAT, right? But that's basically everything I wanted to cover in today's video, right? JACKBOYS 2 possibly going down in 2 days from now on Wednesday, April 30th on Travis Scott's birthday. And then is the SoFaygo comeback happening? If he's on the project, right? That's an if he's on JACKBOYS 2. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's MONEYMAY, or is it? And I'm out. Thank you guys.